Hope everyone had a nice weekend. So we are moving on to the second part of 16.3, adding time for math. So we're going to go through the workbook pages from Friday so you can take a look and think about the steps that you would be taking to solve all of this. So these number bonds are really going to help us. So they have us adding the hours first. Now, like I said in the last video, we're going to start by adding the minutes first, and you'll see why today. So we would start with our 25 minutes, which is coming from here, and then our 30 minutes, which is coming from here. And we would be adding those first, okay? And that's going to give us 55 minutes. And then we will add our hours next. We have our 3 hours and our 5 hours, and I love to see the people that were circling their hours on Class Kick, like I was saying, because you'll see why today gets a little tricky. So 3 plus 5 hours gives us 8 hours, and then basically we just put it together to get 5 hours. Oh, sorry, not 5 hours. 8 hours and 55 minutes. Now for the next one. So we're going to take our minutes, and then we don't want to forget about our hours, so we're going to circle these. So we have our 30 minutes and our 14 minutes. So we'll add those first to get 44 minutes. And then we need to go back and add our hours. So we have 7 hours and we have 3 hours, which will give us 10 hours. So we have 10 hours and 44 minutes here. And now this last step just kind of combines it, but for time's sake, I'm going to leave it blank. Okay, the next one we'll add our minutes. And then before we do all that, you want to circle these so you don't forget about them. So we have our 50 minutes and we have our 9, which gives us 59 minutes. And then our hours, 2 hours and 1 hour gives us our 3 hours. So then we have 3 hours and 59 minutes. All right, so now we're going to get into the new section for today. So we're going to add time, but it's going to have regrouping now. So we're taking it that one step further. So Emily takes a flight from Chicago to New York. She waits 40 minutes to check her luggage. Then she waits 1 hour, 55 minutes before boarding the plane. How long does she wait in all? Now again, that in all should clue us to addition here. So now you can see they switch the steps around. So that's why I wanted us to just start with adding the minutes first. So step 1 is going to be for us to add our minutes. So our 40 minutes plus our 55 minutes, which gives us 95 minutes. Now you should be looking at this 95 minutes and right away realize that this is more than an hour. So back on our last lesson, we worked on converting hours and minutes and all of that stuff. This is for that, okay? So we now are going back to that and thinking, how many hours can we pull out of 95 minutes? So in your head, you can go through, and there will be the charts on the slides to help you, but in your head, kind of go through the different hours and minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, 2 hours is 120 minutes, that goes over. So we can only take out 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. So 95 minutes is made up of 60 minutes and 35 minutes. So what they do is they pull out that hour, and then here they're changing it to 1 hour. And now the minutes that were left over, once they broke that up, will stay. Okay, so this one's a little different because there's no hours for us, additional hours really for us to be adding yet. So it's just this one here. So then the next step is to take this answer that we just did, this 1 hour and 35 minutes. We're going to move it down here and add that final hour. So this is why we practice circling this hour, because you don't want to forget about it, because once you convert this 60 minutes into an hour, it's very quickly to move past it and then think that you're finished, and you're not. So you have to add that final hour. So 1 hour plus another hour gives us 2 hours and 35 minutes. So we have 2 hours and 35 minutes in all. Okay, so we're going to follow these steps. They also are on this slide. So use this chart to help you. So add the minutes, but circle the hours so you don't forget about them. Regroup the minutes, and then add everything and look back at the circled hours. So let's do some practice here. And this will be there to guide you. Okay, so we're first going to add our minutes. We're going to, before we start, circle your hours so you don't forget about them. Fix that a little so it's not going in there. Okay, so we got our 5 hours. So we're going to do our 45 plus 35, which is going to give us 80 minutes. Now we're going to take our 80 minutes and we're going to think about how many hours can we pull out of there. So we can use our chart over here. Okay, so we have 80 minutes. Yes, we can pull out 1 hour because that's 60 minutes. Can we pull out 2 hours, 120 minutes? No, because that goes over. So that does not work. So we can only pull out 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. So we're looking right here. And then we still have our 20 minutes. We don't want to forget about that. And then we have to add the hours. So this is where, if you're doing it on your own, you'd go back to look at your circled hours here, the 2 hours and 5 hours to add. Now we want to take our answer from the previous step. We had 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to take our 1 hour and 20 minutes and add it all together. So 2 hours plus 5 hours plus 1 hour gives us 8 hours 20 minutes. All right, so this again is going to be super helpful when you're doing your work. So here is what you will be doing for practice today. So you're going to raise your hand once you're done. I would suggest doing this on a piece of paper because everything is really tight. So I like to set it up, and I'm going to show you at the bottom number 7 so you guys have it. Okay, so number 7 is telling us 3 hours, 40 minutes, plus 5 hours, 25 minutes. Okay, so what I would do then is draw my line next and start to add. So 40 plus 25, we'll add that first, gives me 65 minutes. Now if you want to, instead of circling your hours, use the highlighting tool. That also works, so you can just highlight those so you don't forget about them. Okay, and then take your 65 minutes and break that up into a number bond. Okay, so we are thinking how many hours can we pull out. So this one, we can take out 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. So 1 hour, and then if we took out 60 minutes, 65 minus 60 leaves us just with 5 minutes. So then what I like to do is rewrite it underneath. So then I have like a typical addition problem basically. Cross this out. And we also already did this, so we can also cross that out. So 5 minutes, we have no other minutes that need to be added to that anymore. So that will stay. And then 3 plus 5 plus 1 leaves us with 9 hours and 5 minutes. So if you'd like to do your work down here, this will be on the slide for you on slide 13. Raise your hand on slide 13 once you finish, and then you are doing workbook page 152. So 152 looks like this. They give you the number bonds to help you break up those minutes once you add them, okay? And then they move away from it here. And then number 8 is basically the same thing. It's just a word problem of adding time. Okay, so remember to read it like a sentence. They have it flowing for you already. So the 20 minutes plus 55 minutes gives you how many minutes, and then move that down below to then break up as a number bond, tell how many hours and how many minutes, okay? And then it goes from here. All right, take your time. Don't forget to take a picture of your math workbook once you finish, and good luck. Let me know if you need any help, and please make sure to use this chart when you're doing your work. It helps guide you through those steps.